I often reflect on my time at university and wonder about two things. One, how much more embarrassing could I possibly have been? Like, honestly, I wore nothing but Adidas for like 3 years. Couldn't I have picked any other brand to wear or partner with that? And after that, I wonder, how could I have enjoyed that time a little bit more? After letting the nostalgic embarrassment wash out of me, I came up with these 5 pieces of advice that I would give to my 18-year-old self in order to make their university experience a little bit more enjoyable. So the first piece of advice is to explore more classes. Since I started out as a physics major and then switched to computer science, I mainly spent most of my time studying STEM subjects. I did take a couple of non-STEM classes for my general education, but I didn't really take them seriously because I thought of myself as a STEM person. I also felt that I just needed to prioritize my STEM classes so that I could get good grades within my major and transfer to a good university and eventually get a good job. A lot of the things that interest me nowadays and that I spend a lot of time reading about are non-STEM related subjects such as philosophy and psychology. I think if I would have given those classes a chance a lot earlier in my university career, I think I would have found that I really enjoyed them at that time too. And maybe I would have switched my major to philosophy or psychology and enjoyed that a lot more than I did computer science. The second piece of advice would be to sign up for study abroad. A lot of my friends on Instagram posted about their study abroad programs because they went directly to university right out of high school, but I never really gave myself a chance to sign up for that stuff because I thought, well, a lot of the classes that they sponsor for study abroad are non-STEM, and I was like, I'm a STEM person, so I shouldn't be taking those classes. But it looked like so much fun, and I have such an itch to travel nowadays, and it's something that I find so interesting, exploring other cultures, that I think I would have benefited so much from broadening my horizons at that young age. If I could go back, I would tell myself to stop being such a little dummy. If I could go back and tell myself anything, I'd say stop considering yourself a STEM person, because there's no such thing as a STEM person, and just go for it, man. You don't have to be so scared. Just sign up for study abroad, take the class, it'll be so much fun. Number 3 is to explore work opportunities a lot sooner. Now, this is particularly related to the fact that I only had one computer science internship, and it was my internship at Amazon, and it turned into a career that I don't really fully enjoy, and so I wish I had just started a little bit sooner. And I know that I didn't start sooner because of imposter syndrome and thinking that I didn't have enough experience or that I wasn't even gonna get it, so why should I even apply? But it really limited me in terms of seeing things that I could possibly enjoy working on, either outside of computer science or within computer science, but it just definitely led me to pigeonhole myself into thinking that I could only do one thing. I would have applied a lot sooner. I would have applied to a lot more varying positions. I would have applied to research positions. I would have applied to internships. I would have even maybe tutored even more. I tutored for 4 years, but I did it kind of part-time. I would have maybe double down on that. But I definitely would have started a lot sooner is the thing that I want to emphasize. The fourth tip would be to join more clubs on campus. This wasn't so much a problem when I was at community college because I joined the computer science club even though I was very nervous, and I eventually became the president of that club, and that was a lot of fun, and I hung out with my friends every Friday. It was great. But once I transferred to university, I didn't do any of that. I became very antisocial, and I basically only went to class and then went back home. I definitely missed out a lot on socializing with other people and even exploring my interests, doing a lot more exploring, because I didn't have to join the computer science club. I could have joined like gardening club, I could have joined cooking club. There were a lot of different clubs in my university, and I just never thought of myself as someone who would go to those things or meet people there, or have anything in common with people who went to those clubs. I definitely missed out a lot on making friends, getting to know people, and getting to know myself, seeing what other interests I had outside of academics and getting a job. And the fifth piece of advice that I would give to my 18-year-old self would be to relax a lot more. I was pretty anal when it came to planning out my roadmap for university. I remember going to my community college counselor, who was supposed to help me come up with my 2-year plan for transferring to university, with a plan already made that I had made all on my own time. And I literally just showed it to her and I said, does this look good? And she said, yeah. And so I actually essentially did her job for her. And I spent so much time stressing out about having to stick to that schedule that I couldn't take classes that maybe interested me but weren't gonna keep me on track to transfer in 2 years. And it goes to show how good I am at planning that I spent 3 years at community college when I initially planned to spend 2. So I definitely had a lot of space to explore other classes and have fun at any point in that roadmap. But I was just so anxious about the future, about getting a job, about transferring to a good university, that I just put my own enjoyment and my own fulfillment in my studies second to fulfilling this plan that ended up not really working out. So if I could go back, I would definitely just relax a lot more and just let my guidance counselor do what she knows how to do, and just kind of gone with the flow a little bit more. Do well in your classes, but allow room for excitement and serendipity. So university was pretty lame, but it doesn't have to be, and neither does your experience on my channel. If you want to get to know me a little bit better, you should check out this Q&A video right here, and if you want to hear more about my Amazon software engineering internship, then feel free to check out this video right over there.